Insurance agents from around the world. Hey guys, this is Scott Howell with the Insurance Guys Podcast. Hey, let's talk about client experience for just a minute. Guys, we have got to start meeting our clients where they want to be met. Not where you want to be met. Guys, this isn't about you. This is about them. I know we would all love it to be about us, but it's about our clients. We got to start meeting them where they want to be met. I understand some of you want them to come into the office, drink coffee for 45 minutes, whatever. That's just not where we are today, guys. For those people that want that, that's fantastic. Every single year, more and more people want to jump on a mobile app. They want to download their ID cards. They want easy. They want speed. They don't want to come by and drink coffee with you. One of the easiest ways you can do this is through the agency-branded self-service platform, guys. And that is where Glovebox comes in. A carrier-connected, agency-branded tool for your clients. Call today, get a demo with Glovebox, and mention the Insurance Guys podcast to get 20% off the life of your agency-branded CXP. Guys, let's go meet our clients where they want to be met. Easy, speed. Have a great day.
Hey guys, it's Bradley. Every now and then a company comes across my desk that not only blows my mind in what they're able to accomplish, but we implement that particular technology at Portal and it completely changes the way we do business. That's happened a few times with a few different companies, and it happened this year with Ascend. In case you don't know, Ascend saves agents time by simplifying the time-consuming process of collecting payments, premium finance, and paying the carriers without the back and forth paperwork, and it's integrated right into a slick checkout experience where customers can pay how they want, credit, debit, ACH. Own the customer experience, guys. It's branded to your agency, and they offer a modern checkout experience that your customers want. Ascend will also, and this is a big one for me, automatically pay the provider, the carrier, the MGA for the payables, so it essentially turns agency bill into direct bill. Go to useascend.com/insurance guys. The link should be below on this YouTube video. Check them out. Thanks.
Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast, powered by Glovebox. God, I love Glovebox. Guys, my name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance evangelist for I Protect Insurance. And let me start that over. Cut, start, stop, start. Johnny, cut that first. Sorry. I looked over at you when I paused for a brief second, and I almost started dying laughing. And then I was like,
I made a face.
Yeah, you went, what's he about to say? Because I'd never paused like that before. That's funny. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Insurance agents from around the world, welcome to the Insurance Guys podcast, powered by Glovebox. God, I love Glovebox. My name is Scott Howell, your fearless host and leader, insurance agency owner and insurance evangelist for I Protect Insurance and Financial Services, based out of Huntsville, Alabama. And before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome. He is a 6'3" sophomore from Mobile, Alabama, parade first team All-American, Rivals 5-star recruit. He is a fantastic insurance agent. And my friend, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Bradley Flowers. How are you, Bradley?
I'm good, Scott. How are you?
Best I have ever been. I am in Mobile, Alabama today. Bradley, I got something on my heart I need to get off my heart today.
Okay.
Folks,
I'm scared.
Bradley and I just had a conversation about a vehicle that he purchased over at Infinity. And if you went to the One City World Tour, you heard me talk about customer service. And, you know, we talk a lot about customer retention in the insurance industry.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there are a lot of ways to keep customers and clients and members or whatever you want to call them for that life cycle, that 7 to 10 year period, which is really where you make your money in the insurance business,
Mm-hmm.
right? Have you, Bradley, noticed, and I'm asking this, and I want you to be an innocent third party. Have you noticed how shitty the service is in pharmacies?
Oh, yeah.
Bradley,
well, it's everywhere, man.
Bradley, I had a medication that my pharmacy, it was on back order. How did you know that? Viagra, actually, but what
Was it really?
about the same damn thing?
Was it really?
No,
Okay, good.
I'm playing along. But my pharmacy had on back order, and Walgreens, I called a Walgreens down the road. They had it, but I accidentally gave my doctor the wrong address for that pharmacy, so I had to go to 2 separate pharmacies. Okay, let's start with a start. First of all, every single pharmacy tech that you go up to the thing to get your medication acts like they have been chained to the floor. And that is the last place on earth that they want to be, which I don't blame them, by the way. Then you walk in the pharmacy and you've got that one person that's in there that's already mad because either their drug's on back order or they don't have another refill or they can't find the script. So they're pissed off. And what do you mean? My doctor called this in 3 days ago. So I'm standing there watching this lady do that. And then about that time, some old boy that comes in there all the time, because there's always like one of those crazy ass people in the pharmacy that like you can just tell is not right. This guy walks up to the pharmacy counter and he obviously knows the women behind the pharmacy counter and he must come in there every day. And he asks, and I'm sitting down in the chair waiting on my medication. And he goes, "Hey, if you cut your toenails, can I buy the clippings from you?" And I thought, oh,
he
boy,
says that
here,
to you?
No, to the lady pharmacist behind the counter. And I thought, oh boy, here we go.
Look at Aubie's face.
This pharmacy thing, guys, is turning into the DMV. It is turning into the DMV. These people will literally throw your pharmacy bag at you out the window. I mean,
I think it's because of all the idiots they have to deal with. They're just over it.
Hey, could you cut your toenails and I'll buy the clippings from you? And I was like, well, I've heard everything now. There's nothing left for me to hear. I swear on my son's life that happened. I promise.
I'll tell you, you said something earlier that really resonated with me, is that because you and I are in sales and own businesses,
right, and we focus
and are in
so much on
customer
service,
that we are hypersensitive in a sales situation, in a customer service situation. And I've in pretty much ever since the world started getting back to normal, or the new normal after COVID, there has been a general lack of customer service.
Malaise.
There's been a I don't know what that word means, but there's been a lack of customer service in every industry, restaurant industry, every industry, right? And I think the problem is it's a lack of empathy. There doesn't seem to be any empathy towards the customer in any situation. And I know that people on the other side are going to say, well, customer service employees have been taking a beating from customers forever, and they're just tired. I get that. But if you're listening to this or watching this and you are in customer service and you want to improve how your day goes, when you deliver bad news, deliver it with empathy, even if you have to fake it. Okay. Let me tell you how this should go. I went into a pharmacy right down the street here. Coincidentally, a month ago, they went out of business.
I hope God.
I went into a pharmacy.
Toenail clippings.
I went into a pharmacy. I was sick. Okay. I went and bought some Mucinex, right? And I couldn't pull the Mucinex off the shelf, right? I had to get the little card and take it to the counter, right? And I remembered that my doctor had told me that I needed to take Allegra every day as a daily regimen, right? And so I see the Allegra and I grab the card for it and I walk up there and I give them to the lady and she says, "You can't buy both of those." And I'm like, and I'm the type of guy, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to ask why.
Sure.
I'm not just going to I want you to explain. I said, why? Because you can't buy both of those. And I'm like, I don't understand. And she kind of we had a whole exchange or whatever. And I'm like, I left that pharmacy so freaking triggered. I was like,
I'm telling you,
I was just ready to fight somebody. And I said, and I thought this was 2 months ago. I thought to myself, I said, that would have been so much better if she would have said, I'm so sorry.
Right.
I can't sell you both of those at one time
And
because
here's
the
why.
government has this regulation because
Sure.
people try to make meth.
Sure.
Deliver bad news with empathy. If you're in customer service, and I'm assuming you're undertrained, if you will do one thing, if you will deliver bad news with empathy, your day will be a lot better.
Caleb, that's the best clip he's ever done. Make sure that gets clipped. There's never been anything that you've ever come out of your mouth I agree with more than what you just said.
That's the
And
Chick-fil-A.
and I don't know what we do as a country relative to the customer service that is now just non-existent. But it seems like whether it's an Infinity dealership or your pharmacy or my gosh, if anybody listening to this has been to a fast food place, it is like they throw the bag at you, and I think a little bit of it too is absentee ownership.
For sure. I was about to say it's on the owners too. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and say this. I think the tipping culture has gotten out of hand too, tremendously.
Don't get me started.
And I think it's the owner's faults for hey, I'm not going to pay my people quite as much, but you can make tips.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of causing this. I went to a I won't say what business I went to because it was a friend of mine, but it was a food truck, but it was a prepackaged good. Nothing had to be made. It was a $7 item. The lady reaches down, pulls a prepackaged item, sits it on the thing, and whips the iPad around. And I'm like,
right.
What am I tipping? Like in that situation, like you did not serve me. I'm only tipping you because your boss is underpaying you. That's the only reason I'm having to do that. Right. And the tipping culture has just gotten out of control.
Absolutely. Guys, we've got a very special guest on this podcast today.
And by the way, I tip 25-30% when I go to a normal restaurant. I take the tax and double it.
I can't. Well,
it's an inside joke.
So you go down to Callahan's and you end up digging through the trash can, but we won't talk about that again. Guys, we've got a very, very special guest on today, and I've got a bunch of questions I want to ask him. I love him so much. He is so knowledgeable. I had the chance and the opportunity to break bread with him when we were down at the One City World Tour. My wife was actually sitting between us, so I didn't get to talk to him as much as I'd like. But if he comes on this podcast today and asks me to go this afternoon with him back down to that restaurant for those elk sliders, Bradley, you'll be podcasting by yourself tomorrow. I can tell you that. Ladies and gentlemen, he is originally from Athens, Georgia, and he currently resides in Apex, North Carolina. He is married to the beautiful Natalie. Shout out to her. And he has 3 beautiful babies, Elena, 26 years old, Aubie, 24, and Riley, 17. Guys, I'm going to tell you something about your daddy. He's one of my favorite people in the world. He's a good human being. He has accomplished a lot in his life. He has a resume of success. And you all 3 should be very, very proud of him and what he's accomplished. And I'm not going to get emotional today, but I'm telling you, I hope that you get a chance to listen to this podcast because you should be very proud of him. He is a graduate of the University of Georgia, Go Dogs, national championship football program 2 years in a row now. And he is currently, Brad, I don't know if you know this or not, in progress of reaching his MBA at East Carolina, which is that's a big deal right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you my profound honor today to introduce my friend, Mr. Aubie Knight. How are you, Aubie? Man, we've got a lot to talk about. We got to spend a little bit of time together down at the One City World Tour. I know that you've got a lot going on right now in your life and in your world. I was unaware of the master's degree program you're working on. How much of a time suck or time element is that for you right now, or is that manageable for you? Okay. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Did you get your financial aid approved?
so Aubie, this topic has has special meaning to me, and I've spent 5 years of my life cultivating this persona with the Insurance Guys podcast that I'm just some redneck backwoods hick from Alabama that's not smart and I don't know how to do anything. But for the last 2 years, the University of Vanderbilt has been all over me, wanting me to go through their master's degree program in business.
You should.
And I have thwarted them off at every pass. They call, they text, they email, they've done everything but send a Chinese weather balloon over my house.
They tried to do that last week.
They did. That didn't work. It ended up over in Myrtle Beach.
You know what the data was? You know what the data that was sent back to China said?
No.
My God, those people have a lot of Dollar Generals.
Bradley Flowers has just told the greatest joke I've ever heard, I believe. And so true. You know, that's what they probably did. They were like, this ain't gonna work. Anyway.
Well, it's funny that people talk about this Chinese weather balloon. Like, oh my God, what kind of data are they getting? And the people who are saying that are saying it on TikTok.
Right.
You were talking about this weather balloon, this 8,000 feet up in the air, is stealing data and is sending it back to the Chinese. And you were talking about that on an app
that's from China
that is owned by the Chinese, of which you agreed to tons of terms and conditions that give them access to your data.
Well,
I'll shut up. I'm off my soapbox.
So I live in Huntsville, Alabama, Aubie, which is the home of all defense contractors, and Redstone Arsenal, which is where a lot of our national defense secrets are things that we do militarily speaking. I can tell you right now, guys, without a shadow of a doubt, from what I know, we could jam a Chinese weather balloon so that it couldn't see or send anything back to China in about 0.2 milliseconds. Okay. So please don't be worried about that. Now, I don't know how it got over our airspace and all that good stuff, but I do know the technology. We had a weather guy come on ABC News one night, local news, and he said, I'm going to show everybody the radar, the Doppler radar for North Alabama right now. It was sunny and like 70 degrees that day. The Doppler radar was solid dark green over North Alabama. And the reason it was solid green was one of the defense contractors working for the government had come up with a technology, a radar jamming type technology, where they released something in the atmosphere that made it look like we were like, getting 3 inches of rain.
It's 5G is what it is.
And he's like, I can't explain this. All I can tell you is there's something going on at Redstone Arsenal that is making the entire northern half of the state of Alabama look green.
Wow.
On this radar. So that they have to have technology to be able to block that. So I'm not too terribly worried about it. But Aubie, tell me about you. I want to know, getting back to the college thing, I MBA program at Vandy, I keep thinking, what would my why be, and the time element of that.
Like we should crowdsource bully you into doing it.
I don't know. What are your thoughts, Aubie? Is the juice worth the squeeze? I guess is my only question. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
That's 90% of degrees.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
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 Yeah.
I
I
understand.
was on a board one time, Aubie, and we were. It's not important what we were doing, but we were talking about a marketing strategy for a project we were working on, and there was a guy who was opposing me. We had opposing viewpoints,
Sure.
and a very respectful discussion. Still one of my very good friends to this day, older gentleman. And he said, well, I graduated with a degree in marketing from the University of South Alabama in 1982. So I should know. And I said, sir, respectfully, if you graduated from the University of South Alabama with a degree in marketing last year, the information you got would be outdated.
Correct. Right.
That's how fast it moves.
Right.
Like, let alone the fact that all the lectures are going to be pre-recorded, or
Sure.
a lot of them are.
Sure. Aubie, I want to talk about it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
it's all you, or you see this in like IAOA a lot. I've been doing this for 38 years. Okay, that doesn't make you any more wrong or any more right. Like
right.
The argument is the argument is the argument, right?
Right.
The amount of time you've been doing it carries a little weight, but not a lot.
Right. That's exactly right. Aubie, I've got a lot to talk to you about today. Let's start with a start. I wanted to talk to you about the last time you came on our podcast, and I can't remember exactly the date, but I do remember talking about you were going with a group. I believe it was like a college university trip over to London. I lived over in London for 2 years, really enjoyed my time over there. It was very special. Yes, absolutely. And tell our listening audience, I love to hear these stories. And Bradley and I have this bucket list idea that in the next few years we want to get over to Lloyd's and go, just go up there and check it out. So tell our listening audience what it was like. Mm-hmm. Mm, sure. Mm, right. Mm, Hey, before you just opened up Pandora's box. I've got like 35 questions now. But before I get to that, one of my claims to fame, and I've always told people that I was going to write a book, and the book title is going to be Don't Go to Paris on Tuesday. Aubie, I have been to Paris, France 2 times. A day trip, similar to what you did, took the train over to Paris. The freaking Louvre is not open on Tuesdays. So I've been to Paris twice and have never gone to the freaking
Thought you
Louvre
were about
to
to
see
say
the Mona
something
Lisa.
horrible happened both times.
No.
I had a buddy whose lifelong dream was to see Jimmy Buffett in concert, and had been 3 times, and all 3 times got in a car accident on the way there.
Wow, that's weird.
Granted, the third one was he hit a puddle of water in his BMW, and water went into the intake. So it wasn't really an accident, just the car broke down.
Remind me to tell you my parrot head. I used to be a parrot head. I used to go to Bubba concerts all the time.
I'm not shocked.
Remind me to tell you my Birmingham Jimmy Buffett concert story.
Guys, the fact that he does not want to say that on the air scares the ever-loving crap out of me.
It's an interesting story that involves a young lady in a limousine and a bunch of people watching Scott do things he shouldn't have been doing in a limousine. So,
hey, do those kids have any idea how cool what they're seeing?
No,
they don't. Like, do they understand that every insurance agent out there would kill to go to Lloyd's? Okay, good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, and for those of you, go ahead. Yeah. For those of you listening too, if you have an Oculus VR headset, you can download. There's a YouTube app. It's called YouTube 360. It's the Oculus version of YouTube. And if you go in there and type Lloyd's of London, there's not that many 360 videos of Lloyd's of London. There's one in there that actually takes you through the process of talking to each underwriter and negotiating what percentage of the risk they're going to take.
Really?
It's really, really neat. Now, the video's older, so it's not as clear as it's not as clear of a video as the one of us podcasting that we did in VR, right. But it's really cool. And even though I feel like I understand how the London market works a little better than the average agent, I even still learned a ton from it. It really shows you kind of how that works.
I've got to do that.
It's neat. I would do it, and you can do it from your phone too, I believe.
They should update it with a camera like we use, so it's better, richer experience.
But when you're at Lloyd, you legitimately feel like you're at Lloyd.
You're talking to.
You don't talk, but there's someone talking as if they're you, and you're basically because when you get a Lloyd's deck page back, it'll have 15 or 6 different syndicates on there, and each of them is taking another percentage of that risk.
Right.
Well, that has to be negotiated one-on-one with each syndicate. So it's taking you through that process of, hey, I have this cyber renewal. What percentage of it do you want to take?
Does it take you to the pub with them to talk them
into
that after hours?
It doesn't do that part.
Hey, Aubie, I got a question. You have opened up Pandora's box. Yeah, that's fine. I've got so many things I want to talk to you about. Bradley's going to run here. He's got a meeting he needs to grab for a second, but explain to our listeners that are listening to this right now. You mentioned something earlier about a property tower, and I understand to some degree what that is, but explain to these guys listening what a property tower is related to the North Carolina's insurance and how that would work. Sure. Mhm. 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 Right. Right. Mhm. Right. Right. Exactly. Right. Sure. Right. Yeah. So by that rationale, and I hope you guys understand what he's saying. Basically, what he's saying is you've got first dollar in. Those guys are getting the most premium for that risk, but they're also taking on the most risk because first dollar in on the lower layer is going to be, or the lowest level is going to have the most risk because if there's any claim associated with that risk, then they're going to have the opportunity there to pay out that claim. Where the guys in the, I call it the stratosphere up there, the stratosphere guys don't make as much money. And like Aubie just got through saying, it would have to be more of a catastrophic global event for them to have to pay out, but at the same time, they're not making as much money on that risk either. Is that about where we are with that? So correct. So that plays into one of the questions I wanted to talk with you about today. We know that 2023 is a hard market. You've been in the process of you've got $80 billion worth of a property tower, and then you've got basically the state of North Carolina's insurance that you're helping to coordinate in an area. A lot of that area in North Carolina is in a coastal market. So how hard or difficult is that to do? I mean, obviously it's got to be pretty tough, but what are you seeing, I guess, from your time working to develop that plan for the state of North Carolina's entire insurance program there, in terms of what your predictions are and the things you're seeing in 2023 with a hard market? It'll be here before you know it, though. Sure. Mhm. Mhm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mhm. Yeah, and that's where the my agency plays. That's our big niche is multifamily, single family investors all over the country, and we are currently playing a lot of defense. Um, we've got great people behind the scenes working those accounts. But it is an up at dawn, pride swallowing siege right now because of exactly what you just said. And there's good news and bad news with that. Yes, it's happening to us in our agency, and we're on full. We're the Ravens defense right now, trying to keep what we've got. But at the same time, because everybody's going through it, there's not many investors like your wife that we call on that don't want us to take a look at their stuff. They're it's like I know your insurance is going up. This is what we do. We would love to be, your risk management partner. Will you give us a shot? Well, hell yeah, I'll give you a shot, that kind of thing. So kind of works both ways. Right. Mhm. Mhm. Right, 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 right. Correct. Mhm. Right. Yeah, that's if some of the things hadn't happened in Florida that have happened, I was afraid they were just going to get to a place where, from a capacity standpoint, I can't imagine being an insurance agent and the only market might be Citizens. That would be that's insane. Like that's the only place somebody could get insurance. But it felt like that's kind of where we were headed for a while. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but that's it. That's a great line. So, hey, before we get off this podcast today, I want to talk to you. There was something very specific that we wanted to talk about and that I wanted to learn more about from you today. And it's something that you played a huge role in developing. And it's the InsurTech Accelerator. I think I may have gotten a few emails about it. Heard it talked about in the industry a little bit, but tell our audience a little bit about what you've done in developing this accelerator for you guys. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Correct. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Correct. Correct. Right. Sure. Right. Mhm. So I don't know if you realize this or not, but at the One City World Tour, I know that we had one, if not two, sponsors at that event that would definitely qualify as insurtechs that I would venture to bet 99.999% of agents there would not have known who they were or what they did. My agency is currently working with, I believe, three insurtechs that are not on anybody's radar right now, for different things, for different areas of technology that we're beta testing. Some of these guys are working with one of them in particular, was working with Hawksoft and using their API to help with coordinating documents that come in that are unmatched, and looking at carriers that are not downloading and being able to pull in information from different places to input into HawkSoft almost via automation, and some really cool stuff that's out there that nobody really knows who these people are. So I commend you for wanting to find those particular types of companies and then kind of helping hold their hand through that process and giving them the ability to come to agencies like mine and Bradley's and other agents and let them beta test and then give their honest and open feedback on, yes, this is something that, somebody needs to invest in, or no, it's not, you know. Sure. Right. Yep. Right. Mhm. Right. Sure. Right. Right. Correct. So where are you guys right now in the process? You mentioned the name 101 Weston Labs, but in terms of bringing in some of these, I don't know if we should call them startup insure techs, but maybe that's the correct terminology. But where are you? Early stages? Yeah, correct. Okay. Mhm. And from the agency side, for the agents that are listening to this right now, do you already have a group of, say, I don't know, 3, 5, 6, 10, however many agencies that are going to be the beta testers, or is there an opportunity for somebody listening to this right now as a retail agency that kind of falls in that scope of what we were talking about earlier, to be one of the agencies that's able to test this particular technology? Sure. Right. Mhm. Right. Right. Mhm. Right. Sure. Correct. Right. Right. Mhm. Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Right. Mhm. That's beautiful. So, are you able now, knowing that the podcast you and I are recording right now, probably, and I can ask Bradley to verify this, probably won't come out for 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. Could you be willing to give these guys the website they could go to check this out that are listening to the podcast? Okay. Okay. No, that's okay. Uh, Well, before I let you go, I just want to say this. I love you very much. And when you're ready to go eat those elk sliders in Austin, Texas, I only need about a 2 day notice, and I'm in the car. I'll be like that lab that jumps in the truck with you to head down there. I, well, right. Okay. 101. Yep. There is not many days of my life now that go by that I don't think about those elk sliders we ate at that place. That was the best. I just remember looking over at Kim and she looked at me and I was like, this might be the best thing that I've ever put in my mouth ever. I don't know what was in them. I don't know how they cooked them. I didn't really check any. It was kind of dark in there, but I just remember thinking that might be the best thing I've ever had in my mouth. Man, that was good. Well, hey, Albie, I love you, brother. Hey, I'm gonna shut this thing down. Anything else before we go? Right, right. Yeah, yep. There you go. Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to Bradley about this yet, but I'm considering. He just walked back in the door, by the way. I'm considering talking to him about me taking it over next year. And I met with some people last week and doing something a lot the same, but a little different. I thought the event was fantastic. I did keep my promise, and I tried to hug every neck that was there and spend time with people. And I think I did a pretty fair job of that. But I ended up getting COVID and spent about a week and a half under the weather because of it. But it was worth it. I really enjoyed seeing everybody there. It was a lot of fun. But guys, as I end every episode, rewards come from action, not discussion. Get your ass out from behind that desk today. Go out into the big bad world. Make money for your family, for your wife, for your husband, for your kids' college fund, for your parents that are struggling out there. Figure out what your why is and stop letting all that negative stuff that happened to you when you were younger and the coach or the parent or the teacher or whoever that told you you weren't ever going to amount to anything. You know, that label is on your heart and you need to erase that label and you need to go out and live the life that Bradley Flowers and Aubie Knight and Scott Howell know that you deserve to live. And go out and work hard today, make money and support your family, write good business for the agencies that you represent, and write good business for the companies that you represent. Bradley Flowers, I love
Thanks,
you.
brother.
I
Thanks,
love
Aubie.
you. Albie, we love you, brother. Same here. Same here. Guys, you are listening to the Insurance Guys podcast, and we love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being a part of our family, and we'll see you back here real soon. Take care.